you know, if you take like these sound packs and such that Trench was talking about, that the fact that everything became easier, like, the things that we had back in the day are tools, and the things that we have nowadays are tools. But the only difference is these tools help you execute more efficiently. Like, it's the difference between getting like a manual screwdriver and getting a drill gun. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Right.
we can do something a little differently. But the thing is, when it comes to the oversaturation of the game and all these tools being accessible to everyone, the ones that really do choose to stand out are the ones that have my ear. And those producers that do so, or those that like challenge the sound,
Mm-hmm.
are the people that I'm like, that's why they stand out, because it's, you can always do easy and you can always execute on that level. But these people that choose to do something different with their tools still, when they're given like an easy playing field, those are the people that I fuck with. So yeah, I love where music is going, because it's really hashing out who's original, who decides to be original, who doesn't.
Amen and amen and amen. Let's talk Boston for a second, because there are a
Mhm.
plethora of producers that have come out of the 617. I mean, we could sit here and name names all day, from DJ Fax One back in the day to Bobby Bangers today, and so many people in between. As just fans of the production game,
Mhm.
what you got? If let me actually put on your artist hat. Dee Loopz, you right now, because you're the only MC representing, because another MC that's 49 years old and retired doesn't rap anymore. So I'm not answering this question. But
Last I seen you bodied some people. Last I seen you rap. That's all I'm saying, bro. Fuck what they say, guys.
a long time ago, we won't go into that. I'm done. Nah. What do you look for personally when you listen to a beat? Even if you're on the show, like you have a
Mhm.
segment called Keep It and Cut It, which kind of ties in with that. But
Mhm.
personally, what do you look for in a beat? Do you look for like the keys? Do you look for the drum pattern? Do you look for necessary sounds that fit in through the beat? Like, what is the main thing? And Avi, you can answer this as well. What do you all look for when you hear a beat? Like, do you just block every other sound out and just focus on that, and then bring everything else back in? What is the main element that you look for first when you're listening to a track?
So I'm not gonna answer this the best way that most people would. I hear colors, so it's like I don't, when I hear something, if it
Mm-hmm.
all sounds like a perfect picture, it works for me. And I mean that means if the percussion is smacking, you know, if there's progression there, or sometimes you can have a dope loop, but just everything is mixed sonically, where everything is just working.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things that when it happens, when a beat is like, obviously the drop is great, but when we're rating stuff on the show, people are really giving you 15 to 30 seconds before you impress them or not. And for
Right.
like long drawn out beats, that's sometimes not doing it. So what people tend to do, or the beats that I feel like we're drawn to the quickest, are the ones that kind of like act like a highlight reel. I want to see and I want to hear all the things that I want to hear that you would have put in a 3 minute track, put it in a minute track, and let me just hear what you're coming with when it
Right.
comes to the drops and the slowdowns and all that other stuff and the backwards stuff. So I think that's what I look for when I listen to on the show. But when it comes to just in person, I just want a vibe, and I just don't want anything to interrupt me hearing these colors. You know what I mean? So that's how I would say it. But Trench is more of like, Trench checks out bass lines and calls people on bass notes that are wrong.
Like me,
He's like,
right.
yeah, he's sonically like more trained than I am when it comes to that.
I wouldn't say that.
Speak on it, Trenchton. How would you describe what you look for?
Call me a liar.
One, one word. One word. Bass
Yeah.
or bass line. That
Mm.
to me, outside of the drums and everything else, the bass line kind of is the glue to the beat. It's like looking at a beautiful woman, and she's pretty in the face. She got nice hair. She got her outfit on point,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see no ass. The bass is the ass. I'm an ass man. You gotta have nice bass on there, man. You gotta put the whole thing together.
Damn, yo.
Oh,
The bass is the ass, yo.
Telling some
the
stories, you left your
It's
bass at home.
what's bass? The bottom,
The bottom, the low end,
the low end.
the
the
groovy,
the
the
views and
glue.
expressions of Avi Trench do not reflect that of DJ Daz One and my tuned in right now. Thank you.
Hey,
I'm
no, listen. I'm talking about me.
joking. I'm joking.
I'm talking
It's
about
all
me.
good.
Yeah,
No,
but
I agree.
baseline is important because baseline is like, how can I describe it? You think of
It's
your
the
favorite meal, it's that it's that thing that you leave last to eat
mhm,
because you want to get everything else out the way when you like, I'm about to savor this right here. When the baseline comes in on a beat, you just get that feeling. If I don't get that feeling,
yeah,
I don't want to hear your shit.
baseline's the glue, man.
I've
I
And
deleted
yeah,
beats because I don't have good bass lines on my beats. I'll delete them shits.
I
Dead ass.
have to agree. A couple songs that stand out that just bass, Diggable Planet's cool like that because the first thing you hear is a bass line, and then
hmm hmm
a track called Quest Excursions. Again, the first thing you hear is just the bass line, and it's just like
Yeah.
everything builds around that. And those are two of my favorite records of all time. So I have to agree with what you said. Let's talk about the mix. You all do and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you guys do a monthly mix at the end of all the producers that I guess you keep, and then you put together like a showcase of their beats. Like, how does that work? Like, explain what it is that you do when it comes to that for people who don't know.
So what we used to do is we used to take all the songs and put them on a mix and then put them on SoundCloud for other people to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, we've made an agreement that we would do that with guests that are on our show. So the goal is whenever we have people come on our show, when we end up doing Keep It or Cut It with them, if we make it to a certain number, we would then go ahead and curate a beat tape with them, basically saying it's been A&R'd between the both of us, between the B Club and let's say a Daz one or B Club and
Right.
Sean J. Period. Actually, we released one with Sean J. Period that I think is still lives on SoundCloud. But yeah, so as of right now, we're actually shifting that over because we used to be on SoundCloud, and we're going to be shifting that whole thing over to YouTube. So there'll be more to come on that because during that transition, we just weren't disciplined enough to like put it out at that time during that transition. But it will be coming on YouTube. So the Stu Showcase, B Club Podcast.
Well, I will be looking forward to that. Will
Yes,
we
sir.
have any live events in the future? I know there was a time when we were all shut down because of COVID and everything, but now that we've kind of opened back up, will you be bringing the B Club podcast / the Stu Showcase back to live venues?
Yes, we have been in discussion about setting up our tour for 2023 into 2024. It was unfortunate when we were touring. It was a great time, but the pandemic kind of cut that like short
Mhm.
when we were kind of on our run, and we haven't made a run back at it since where the pandemic is kind of passed, or however you wish to put it. So yeah, we're definitely looking to do that, and there's been talk of bringing the Stu Showcase back, but just in a different way and bringing it to the people. Like I said, shout out to Wonder Bar, that was our home venue. But being that that's gone and that there's other places that really we want to go to, and we know there's producers, we're going to travel a bit. Well, that's the goal, to travel a bit with it the next time around.
Well, come to
Mhm.
Kansas City. You and D Dot should do something together because there's a lot of beat makers that I met out here that I think would really enjoy that platform. So hopefully you guys get to come out here and I get to see you again. It'd be always good to see family. Um, let's shift gears real quick. Unfortunately, over the last maybe 5, 10, 15 years, we've lost a lot of the greats, not just in hip hop, but just in music all around. If you guys can recall one, or whether it's a group, or well, if it's a group or more than one person that passed away that truly touched you here, that when you still think about it to this day, you was like, damn, I wish they were still here just to give us more work. Who is someone that you wish could still be here that unfortunately is no longer with us, and why?
I would,
Trench, you want to go?
yeah, I would have to say Tupac and Nipsey. Those are the two. Like
Mm,
I wasn't the biggest Pac fan, but I loved a lot of his music. But I just liked and loved his impact on the world. And I feel like if he was still here, hip hop would be a different climate.
Yeah,
Um, and then Nipsey, like, I- it's Nip, man. Like he from the ground up built his whole empire, and his main thing was looking out for his people. That's something that I pride myself in, looking out for my people, making sure my people are good. And he
yeah,
did that. And unfortunately he was taken away too soon. And Kobe, man. Like,
yeah,
we like
mm,
I grew up with Kobe, man. I didn't
yeah.
know Kobe,
mm.
but I grew up with Kobe. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
heard mad people say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's like yeah. Go. I totally agree, man. Kobe just. But I think his daughter.
yeah,
Not to say that Kobe doesn't strike a chord, because I'm like, damn, the stuff he was doing, advocating for women's sports, especially women's basketball, but to
yeah,
see his
man.
daughter, who didn't even get to see 16 and get to graduate high school and become somebody, was just
Yeah, that was
yeah,
tough. That
damn.
that that one hit different because I think we heard the news while we were doing an event at Wonder Bar.
Wow.
I believe that's when we heard it. Everything was on the screens during
Mm,
that time. It was a Beat Club podcast live, yo.
I think
Wow.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's vaguely.
yeah.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
tough.
Hmm?
Yeah, that definitely I could sound like that'd be tough. You just like on a natural high, and then you hear that, and it's just like
Hmm.
the whole show just shifted and
Yeah.
everything. Dee Loopz, before we get somber up in here,
No,
how about
I think Trench hit on the nose when he said Nip. You know, I think Nip
yeah,
was like there's there's been plenty of like losses that we've had when it comes to like artists and such, but just something hit a little home when it came to Nip, just because I think I felt his words a little differently than the other stuff that I was hearing. And
yeah,
not only was he talking about things that were relatable, but he also talked about some things that were possible
Right.
for the mind that can't wrap their head around it. You know what I mean? And I think if you are what you consume, and I think his music is something that only brings the better out of folks if you're consuming that on a daily basis. I wake up to Nipsey's song every morning. I've been doing that for like the past like 3 years. I
which
wait because he's my alarm every song.
I think I
which
know which
Um
song?
one.
Which song do you?
uh I gotta pause my phone and show it to you because I don't want to say the song wrong, but I think it's Double Up.
Okay,
Uh but I listen, yeah, I wake up to that song every single morning. So yeah, definitely Nip. And maybe, and honestly, I'll even say this, even though it's been a minute, Aaliyah.
yeah,
Aaliyah definitely, her music, her voice, and just I guess her and Timbo, just
yeah.
what they brought to the game is just something that I like. If anybody else did something similar, like nah, they trying to copy. Like when Tink, like nah, that's kind of like an Aaliyah thing. So it's just yeah,
Mm.
I would say them too. She was definitely a blueprint.
I'm gonna touch on that real quick. First of all, Dave from De La Soul, I think still is the one that touches me, and only because they've been fighting for years to own their shit.
Mm.
And then when they finally get it and get that past that hurdle, Dave dies and doesn't even get to enjoy the benefits now of owning, actually having rights to their own shit. And I'm like, damn, he worked so hard to get to this point, and now
That's
he's not
tough.
even here to celebrate the victory that happened. So I think that's a touching moment for me as a true longtime fan. But I just saw Janet Jackson a couple of days ago, and I was actually saying the same thing. I'm like, here we have this legend. And could you imagine like Aaliyah opening up for Janet now if she were still here? Like, could you imagine that? As big as Aaliyah would have been,
Hmm.
for her to still be had a chance to open up for someone that basically gave her voice. I mean, every R&B singer mentions Janet as a huge influence, and rightfully so.
Hmm.
And I just thought about that while I was watching this show. I'm like, yo, could you imagine Aaliyah right here rocking with Janet, and just we will never get to see what her career would have become, because there's some R&B singers that are out right now that just don't have it, and I feel that they're lucky that Aaliyah, and I don't want to say they're lucky that Aaliyah passed because that's still a wrong thing to say, but they're fortunate that she didn't get a chance to be what she could have been, because a lot of these singers probably would not be as big if she.
They're also fortunate that technology has upgraded. Let me just say
Facts.
that.
Facts upon facts. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuning in, we got my man Trench Got Game and my man Dee Loopz representing the Beat Club podcast. Speak on the
Cracking.
podcast real quick. Let them know how they can tune in. I got a few more questions, but just spill the beans on
Yeah,
the show, how they can tune in. Go for it.
I got this. So we got a place called beatclubpodcast.com where you can go 24/7 around the clock. This means if you are a producer, you can go and upload music to us 24/7 around the clock. And we take live submissions on Sunday. So if you want to know what the Beat Club podcast does, you can check us on YouTube, Instagram, and everything. But I'm gonna just keep it short. We listen to beats sent in from all around the world, not just locally. I'm talking Africa, Australia, Canada, any countries I can't pronounce. That's where the beats come from. We don't screen the beats whatsoever, and we listen to them with the live audience. That means you guys. And then we decide if we're going to keep or cut the beats. And then sometimes we also have guests on the show that help us keep or cut the beats as well. So you get an interview, you get fresh music, you get comedy, some dirty sense of humor, and you get to drink with us every single Sunday and have a good time. So yeah, beatclubpodcast.com, where producers are heard. We've interviewed a bunch of legends in the game, and we're not stopping. So Beat Club Podcast, where producers are heard, every Sunday. 2 p.m.
Amen. You've had a plethora of producers on the show, but I'm sure you guys have your own personal wish list of people you would still like to see. Who are some of the people? Who are some of the people on that wish list?
Timbo. I want Pharrell, because Pharrell's influenced me a whole lot. I want all the people I grew up listening to. I want Just Blaze. I want Ye. Ye would be nice. RZA. Yeah, man. I'm definitely missing a good portion of some folks. I don't know if I mentioned Dre yet. Did I mention Dre?
No.
Nope, just now.
I mentioned Dre. Yeah, Dre. There's a whole bunch of people out there, man. But those are the people I grew up listening to, and I feel like that would check off my kid list, like all the people I grew up listening to. But Trench, man, Battle Cat Trench.
Yo, DJ Battle Cat. I would lose my mind, yo, because that's one of my favorite producers of all time.
Amen.
High Tech, of course.
Got High Tech.
Matter of fact, I know somebody we can get that would be really dope. Focus, 3 Dots.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Actually, we did talk to Focus,
yes.
3 Dots.
Yes, but on the Sunday pod.
Yeah.
Damn, who else? I would want to hear from Swiss Beats too, because Swiss Beats been going at it since he was like 17. So that
would be dope.
That's crazy.
Him and his snare.
Don't forget Hit Boy. I know you want him on the show.
Yeah, that would be dope. Even Hitmaker, like all these other producers that have been coming up. I would love to hear from these dudes, man.
When you guys, are listening to these tracks and everything, and this is something when I'm listening, I chime in on a lot. This person would fit this person would fit that. What is a name that, whether you mention it or not on the show, when you have these beats, who are some of the MCs, whether they're local or not, that you would see just tearing down half of these tracks? Like I've mentioned Royce the 5'9" a lot, and Rapper Rico and Fonte a lot. Who are some of the rappers that you think, if you could create a wish list of MCs that you would like to see on some of these tracks, who would some of those MCs be, whether past, present, or future?
I think based on a lot of what we've received for submissions, 2 names come to mind for me often: Ross and Lloyd Banks. Those are 2 names I say like all the time. They just like, there's a lot of beats that we get that put me in that bag for them. So I would say those 2.
All right.
Yeah, I would definitely say like there's those signature sounds. So when you hear like that signature like Maybach music sound, you're gonna hear you want to hear Ross on it. You want to hear like a Nip, someone with that cadence that could fit in those pockets. I feel like another name we throw out there. I don't really know. I feel like, producers, they either send some real plush, some real Rick Rosh's, or sometimes they'll sing some King Von type vibes over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely when it comes to the drill, and then other times we'll just get some music that I can't hear any artist on because the music's just so beautiful. It don't need anybody on it.
Right.
Very true.
Amen and amen to that. Those just now tuning in, like I said, we got my man Dee Loopz, we got my man Trench Guy Game representing the Beat Club podcast each and every Sunday. Tune into this show, especially all you MCs out there always looking for beats and be like, ain't got no platform for us. All right, well, now you have one. You have no excuses. And yeah, if you think you got game, step on up and reach out to these people, because at the same time, this is a networking platform. They're not just doing this for the sake of doing it. They're doing it to keep the level of networking and the line of communication wide open, so you all can't say that you know there's no platform out here, because this one is live and direct, 6 years in and going strong. They're gonna make it to 10 years, and then 20 years, and then 30 years, and then these guys are gonna be in wheelchairs smoking cigars on the show, still drinking vodka and bourbon, be like, oh, all right, Tony, here's the next beat. I can't bump my head like I used to, but we gonna try to anyway.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I try to be funny too. I try to be. On a more serious note, and this is something that I truly take pride in, not because you guys are friends, I've known you all for so long, but I feel that your contributions to hip hop and to Black music is definitely needed. When you guys, when it's all said and done, and I don't want to like predict like you're going to end in 5 years or 10 years, but when you know that you guys can walk away from this, whenever that time will be, what do you want to be remembered for with this whole platform and everything you're doing, from the graphic design to the event curation and all that good stuff? What do you guys want to be remembered for at when it's all said and done, when you guys are content with where you took things?
I'm gonna have Trench go first.
I think I would want to be remembered for my purpose, which is helping others. And that's something I've been doing since I was a kid. It's something that my family prides themselves in, which is being kind and helpful to others and seeing others win, as well as myself winning. So that's pretty much my purpose. And with the Beat Club, with the Stew, with pretty much anything that me, Dee, and Merren do, our goal has pretty much been to put people on. It's never been about us. Not once. It's always been about the people, the craft, the hustle, the grind. It's a marathon. So
right on. Loopz.
I just want to be and I just want to be, but I would like to be remembered as an inspirational figure, an inspirational individual, so that there can be someone else out there that is either similar, see some types of similarities between themselves and the platforms I created, and they create something better, but with the same love, intention, and attention to detail, or more than I put into it. Like, I feel like when you have somebody that's careful and not fumbling what they've built in hopes of getting it to the next person or the next area, then it's able to evolve from that point on. But if they didn't carry it over, then you don't know what ideas you're really holding from the future, because no one has a blueprint to go by. So I just rather be that inspirational figure, that creative person that just always pushes the limits when you think they're already at their max. I think that's just me, and I'm gonna continue to do that till there's no ceilings in this motherfucker. So I'm gonna just keep pushing up.
You embarrassed me already once.
I didn't do that. You did that.
And I was talking about this to myself on the way home. I was like, let me bring this up and talk about this, but you know what? I'm going to do it. Let me ask this question. Have there ever been times, and I'm segueing into what I'm about to say, but have there ever been times when you guys did a show or a radio show when you felt that you weren't at your best, and why?
I did a show where I felt like I wasn't at my best.
Wasn't at your best, like you just like, okay, this show is just already felt a shambles, but we're gonna still finish it out, even though it's like when a person's on stage and you feel you went at your heart, but the crowd just wasn't feeling it, and you just know that everything went downhill, but you still persisted to at least finish the night, finish the show. Have you ever felt that you could have been better And then how did you rebuild from that and say, all right, you know what? We're going to come back strong next week. Like, we're not giving up, even though we just had probably the worst show ever. Like, you ever have that feeling, and how do you deal with that adversity?
So I've had that feeling, but I can't say I've had that feeling on the podcast. And I will say I haven't had that feeling on the podcast because we're organically ourselves. Excuse me, we're organically ourselves, and we don't really have too much of a script to follow.
Right.
So it's like, you know, if all else fails, just take another shot and we'll we'll figure this out. You know, and
There you
because
go.
honestly, that's it. Because we've been very grateful for our fan base that not only rocks with us because they make music, but they rock with us because we're us and we're humans. So we're bound to make a mistake because the whole thing is live, but we're gonna make sure you're entertained. And I think as long as that's our common denominator with the way we move, people understand the mistakes, and we're gonna work our way through it. Because me and Trench and Merren, we talk on the show the same way me and Trench and Merren talk to each other with no
100%.
microphones, and you know what I mean. So yeah, that just is what it is. So it's carrying over onto the live platform.
How about you, Trench?
Nah, he pretty much summed it up. I was just gonna say it like it is what it is. You just roll with the punches, man. Yeah, I think the main important thing is just staying consistent, because even when you're messing up, life is gonna go on. The day's gonna go on. You're gonna have another show, so just come back stronger.
But I will say I did mess up on something, but it wasn't the podcast. I messed up on something that I think was a really good. It was a really good mistake because it showed me what type of person I was. So it was one of our stew finales, and in one of our stew finales, there was a producer who did not show up to the finale, and they threw off the whole calculation of everything on how we had the sheets. So during the finale, this is when you win the big cash. You get the photography, the belts, and all types of shit, right?
Right. Yep.
I got the sheet, and when calculating it, the calculations came out wrong, and I ended up saying the wrong name. So when I ended up saying the wrong name during the finale, this person got all the praise. And I'm not saying this person out of disrespect, just because it's just something that had happened, and everything had happened. The night was over, done. I was driving home, and then something in my spirit was like, yo, something don't feel right. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, after the club closed, something don't feel right. So I said, look, let me reach back in that back seat and grab that sheet again. I grabbed the sheet again, and come to find out, the person that we said won did not win. It was another person. Shout out to Elio Sound. So I actually had to make a decision. I said, no one knows I messed up. No one knows that the wrong person won, but I know. And so for that reason, I called my brothers. I told them what it was. I called the producer that we had accidentally awarded everything, and told him what it was. And then I told the man who thought he lost that he won, and kind of set the whole thing straight. We created a PR report, kind of put that out there, just admitting that we were at fault for it. But I tell you one thing, like the amount of love that we got just for doing that, taking that extra step just from that producer was a lot. And then on top, like, it gave us our word to stand on. Like, we could have let that slide by, but it just, right is right and wrong is wrong, man. So that was definitely one time that I effed up, but I was happy that it happened because it showed me the type of person I am and the type of platform we run.
I forgot about that.
And you were able to bounce back from it, and hey, you didn't get crucified for it. Well, it was a BTS. I think Violet was headlining, and you probably remember this. And
no, I don't.
Oh, no. Oh, you don't? Okay. Well,
I don't know.
I was DJing the night, and I remember before the after party started, Dee Loopz said, "Yo, Dad, you better not fuck this up." And I was just like, "Damn, thanks, Dee." The pressure of me not fucking up, like, and I had everything I was gonna do. And then as soon as you said that, I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I bombed hard to the point. Not only did the crowd leave the dance floor, they left the entire building.
Oh, that was early, right? Like you should, that shit got shut down early, right? That was an early party.
I was like, wait, why did it shut down so early? Where'd everyone go? I'm like, it's only midnight. And I just looked up. I was like, yo, I was like, I can't look D in the face again. I'm never going to ask him.
Damn, I said that to you though, fam. I really tell you don't fuck this up.
No, you said it on the mic. Never mind.
Damn. Yo, I'm an asshole. I'm sorry, but nah, that's real though. That's Loopz. But
I
yeah,
was just like, whoa, you had for those that have been to Slade's on a Thursday night had about 200 to 250 people, probably even more than that. And for those that know who Dee Loopz is, because I'm the same way. I don't have a filter. I'll just say the first thing I'm an asshole. I can't help it.
I'm an asshole with
I'm
love
better.
though. I show love when I'm an asshole
But
though.
that night, Dee Loopz is just like, yo, ready for the after party? Thanks for coming out. Hey, yo, Daz, you better not fuck this up.
Yeah, I don't recall that shit, but that sounds
Bro,
about right.
Brian remembered it. He remembered it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn.
Damn, Daz, you fucked it up though. Why you do that, man?
Thank you for the pressure.
Damn, bro.
But I was still a young guy in the DJ game and everything. See, here's the thing. My stigma was I was just known as an old school guy. I never really catered to the new form of playing all the new stuff that came up, but that's just on me. So I thought, yeah, I play old school everything and everybody will love it. And that's where I went wrong. I stayed in my old school bag and didn't really keep current at that particular time. And that is something that I had to really learn how to do. I've gotten a lot better now. If this were 2023, it wouldn't be the same outcome. But that's just something that I had to learn and really take back. I'm like, okay, personally, I got to take my personal feelings out of it. I hate some of the new school stuff, but it's really not about me. I got to play it because that's what people want to hear. And that's what your job is. And I didn't really take that assignment too well. And yeah, I really fucked everything up. I couldn't even look up at anyone, the bartenders, the bouncers, the way I didn't even want my food. I was like, yo, just give it to someone else. I'm just trying to get the hell out of here because that's how embarrassed I was. But I really took that home as like, you know what, I gotta really do better because I'm a face in Boston that has been doing it for quite some time, and that can get around real fast where no one will ever want to work with you. And I'm glad y'all didn't say anything, and maybe you did, but I'm glad that I was able to still get work, just not at the BTS anymore, but I was still able to get work. But I just mentioned that because if anyone's listening, I'm not saying that just to put myself out there, but in all due respect to anyone who's listening, everyone has a bad day. Everyone has an off night. Brian could be making something dope in his house, and then he gives it to whomever, and they could be like, nah, bro, this stuff is trash. And he probably won't take it to heart, but he's like, man, I really worked hard in this. And he's like, but I just got to go back to the lab and get better. So if you're listening right now, adversity is going to come in this game. It is a very unkind field that we are in. Hip hop, music, whether you're a beat maker, MC, DJ, producer, whatever the case may be, it is a very unkind profession that we are in. So if you can't take the heat of the criticism that's going to come, because there are some mean people out there, but sometimes you got to hear that just to get better. Like, you got to take it. It's going to come, and we're all under that. We've all had those low points, and then we've had these extremely high points, but we learn. We're still students of the game. I've been DJing for 25 years now, and I'm still learning as if it's my first day, because I still make mistakes here and there. So that's why I brought that up. So if you're listening, ladies and gentlemen, and you feel those tough times come, don't give up. Don't give up.
Please don't. I got a story like that with D too.
Oh, go ahead. Please.
You probably don't even remember. There was a time.
I ain't fucked up twice. What you talking about?
Nah. Like, this goes back to being able to take criticism, especially from your peers, your homies. Real shit. There was a time. It was a long time ago. Long time. Probably like 2010 or 11. And I was working on this photo. I was editing the fuck out of it, and I thought it was good because after you're looking at something for so long,
right,
everything looks the same. So I'm like, word, I'm finally done with this shit. I sent it to him for some feedback. He said something like, yeah, this is cool, bro, but there's too much red in the photo. Nigga, I got mad as hell. Inside, I got mad as hell, and I had to go back and look at it. I was sending it to mad people like, yo, tell me what this looked like. They said red.
Nigga said red. Nigga said red. That's crazy.
Internally, I was pissed, but I was also happy at the moment because when I be asking people for feedback, I want the real feedback. Because how the hell am I supposed to get better if you're telling me, oh, that looks great all the time? That does not help me. So from that moment, I was like, yeah, I got to send this dude pretty much everything because he's gonna tell me what the real is. You just got to be able to take it. Sometimes it might hurt your ego a little bit, but that's part of the game. It's part of growth.
Coming from a place
Yeah.
of love, and I totally
Yeah,
understand.
I think when you do something like that, like you gotta like when you want real feedback, you gotta make sure that you pass it off to someone that has the intention of making sure an ego builder.
Right.
You know what I mean? They
Right.
want to make sure that you're gonna do well. So even if they say something bad about it, their intent is not to tear you down. Their intent is to make you better. And I think you don't go to someone that you know is gonna hate and say, "Yo, how does it look?" Because you ain't gonna grow from their feedback, but you're gonna grow and give it to a peers who you respect their feedback or
Yeah.
at least they respect you enough to be like, well, here's where you need work, and you're gonna take it. Like it, I think our
Yep.
platform speaks to that as well because there's been producers that have gotten in their feelings and completely just don't fuck with us. But there's other producers that understand it's a part of the game, and there was something that we were doing where not only are we going to rate your beats, but we're going to put our own beats out there, so now you can rate us. So just to show that we're all equal. Like when you take away all that sensitivity, like you actually get a lot of great building blocks if you take away that pride and sensitivity, understand that, yo, this
Mhm.
information, I can do something with it later. So
Mhm.
so yeah.
Absolutely,
For
absolutely.
sure.
Well, now that I showed my ass not once but twice, I feel good about myself. I can survive that. My hairline's getting thinner, but we all good. On another note, I just want to say thank you all. As friends, as brothers, as family. We've known each other for well over 20 years, and I love seeing my brothers win. I love seeing my brothers win because it's like when they win, I'm winning because we basically came up together. Even if we didn't do a whole lot of stuff together, we always were always at the same events, always constantly building with each other. And I really want to thank y'all for the platforms that you give to people, whether it's DJs, singers, rappers, producers, um, people who just looking for graphic design. You really will work with anyone. It's never been about the money because you just want to work with as many people as you can, and the relationships will do what it does after you've already done the business transactions and everything. But I think you guys really put people first, especially with this podcast. The level of production that you guys are allowing to come on this show is top tier all the way, and it just extends from y'all's professionalism. So even though I'm not a producer, but I'm just a fan of good beats, I tune in every single Sunday. Even if I miss part of it, I wake up and just say, "Oh shoot, the show's on! I gotta catch some beat and stuff like that." It makes me even want to start rapping again. Sometimes I'd be writing to some of this stuff just for the hell of it. But that's how dope this show is. Just to get me to write, even though I'm not going to do nothing with it, just to get me to write, let you know that you guys are doing something that's incredibly dope. So on behalf of myself and anyone that's tuned in right now, thank y'all again for the platforms, for the things that you are doing, the tireless week in and week out energy you guys give. Yeah, I truly thank y'all, man. This has been a wonderful time building with y'all. And yeah, that's how we do things. So any words of wisdom you want to give before we shut shit down? Let them know how they can reach out to you all solely, all your social media tags. Run it. Oh, he's already saying Dee Loopz right here. This is
No, I was saying Trench. I'm gonna have Trench go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm on pretty much every platform. My tag is Trench Got Game, no rap spellings. You can actually find my beat album, Funk Latte, on Bandcamp, trenchgotgame.bandcamp.com. You can support that. It's on streaming platforms, but I'd rather you go to Bandcamp because you can actually support somebody who created some shit.
How much is it?
About $5.
Okay, I'm buying it.
It's cheap. It's $5,
You can pay what you want.
Put
Pay what you
5
want.
on it, but you technically can pay what you want.
You can drop a 20 on there if you want to. You want to buy a nigga a pizza, so.
Amen.
But yeah, Trench Got Game on everything: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I might not post a lot, but if you hit me up on there, you want to chat, just hit me up.
Do you still do photography too?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. My website is actually theeventshooters.com. Plain and simple. You can go there, check out my work. You can book me on there. photo, video, and I'm getting into real estate photography technically right now. So that's something else. And words of wisdom. Something I've been focusing on is purpose. Don't chase your passions. Your passions could change at any point in time, but your purpose is your soul. It's everything about you. Your purpose should never, well, probably will never change for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dee Loopz, what about you, man? Let them know how they can reach you solely on all your social media tags and some words of wisdom.
So it's Dee Loopz. That's D, two E's, Loopz. You can just search that. You'll find me somewhere, whether you want to look for my music or you want to find me online. But if you're going to try to reach me on IG and such, I do go by Do It All Loops. I'm not a know it all, but I am a do it all. And I'm not going to spell it out for you. I'm going to have you do that. So Do It All Loops. You can find me on social media when it comes to that. And then I'm also Dee Loopz. Between Dee Loopz and Do It All Loops, you can find me on most social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and all that other good stuff. Words of wisdom is I'm gonna just keep saying, man, inspire before you expire. We all here for whatever limited amount of time. You know, our concept of time can always be different. Sometimes, you know, we can think that, hey, I'm 38 and 38 is a long time. Other people can think that 38 years is a short time. But at the end of the day, it's my time. So I got to make sure that I invest it properly and make sure that my time spent here is well worth someone else's time spent watching me or being involved with me or being influenced by me. So I'm going to inspire before I expire, because that's my purpose while I'm here. And then I'll also say this, just to get some other things out the way, because, you know, Daz, you did say that we've known each other for quite some time, and you know, we can call it giving flowers and such like that. But I just want to say, like, you've always been a very solid individual, and you've always had an opinion, validly backed by facts, or when you gave an opinion, you stood on that opinion, but you never challenged anybody's like manhood or anything like that when it came to your position on that opinion. But you never necessarily needed to budge or anything else. Like, this is who I am, and this is who I'm gonna be, like it or love it. And I think like that about you is something I've noticed about you from like even just the very beginning. Just you stand on what the fuck you say, you know what I mean? And whether it rubs someone the wrong way or not, even though that's not your intention, that's just the person you are. So I just want to salute you for being that type of person and holding that character over the years. And also I do want to put this out there, because this wasn't a question that's normally asked on any platform when it comes to us, but I want me and Trench to kind of be put on the spot with this. Trench,
what up?
The hottest 5 producers on our platform this year. Who is it?
Good
this
question.
year.
Good question.
Brown Jewel, Steve Skyline,
Keys the Mogul.
Damn, there's so many. Shoddy Rock, he really hasn't missed. And,
I'm putting 808 out there, bro. You missing 808.
808. I mean, yo, I can name 25 right now.
808 the fraction.
808 the fraction.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to go more? We can go 10. If you got more, you good.
Let's do 5 more. Come on.
Manny B. Shy, King Johannes. Shit, Sandman. Let me see. I'm forgetting names right now. What's homie's name that submitted that that Beyonce flip? Donnell Smokes, Agent M.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right, that's enough. That's enough.
You know what I'm saying?
That'll be good. You got 10.
Don't mess with me and my hitters, man. We'll pull up.
Yo, man. Chop this clip up, put it online, man. Tag us in it, man. Yeah. Shout out to them. Shout out to the producer community. Shout out to everybody for rocking with us. And shout out to just Boston and our fan base all across the world, man. So we do appreciate you guys.
Well, one last thing I wanted to say before we shut down. My words of wisdom, 3 simple things. Always be yourself. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't make it. And keep Dee Loopz name out your mother.
Nah, yeah.
You knew that was coming, right?
Do what you want, man.
Nah, don't do that, because Dee Loopz got goons and they will come and find you. Nah,
they older now. They got bad knees. They might drive up on you, but they ain't gonna creep up on you.
I am done.
Shit. It's
Nah,
okay.
on the real, gentlemen, thank you for this time. This has been truly a blessing. I want to thank y'all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to rock with me and vibe with my listeners and everything. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the Beat Club podcast is every Sunday. What are the times again? Just for people to know. Sunday,
2 p.m. to 4 p.m. every
Eastern
Sunday.
Standard Time.
live. No pre-records. They
Live.
are live.
You
So
see all our mess ups
beats,
live.
if you have beats that you want to send these gentlemen, start sending them now. They do not turn away anybody. I will say, female producers, wherever you are at, get your voices heard, because there are a lot of dope female producers out there that just will never know about. But here's your chance. Here's your platform. Come out here and do the damn thing. Brothers, thank you so much for spending time with me tonight. Rap Sheet Podcast, Season 3, Episode 9. That's Dee Loopz. That's Trench Got Game. I'm the old guy, DJ Daz, one with the receding hairline. Thank y'all for rocking out with us tonight. Brothers, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank y'all so much, man.
Appreciate you,
What's
man.
up, man? You got it.
All right, man. See y'all next week. Oh, one other thing I want to tell you guys. Tune in on the 25th of this month, because I got Master Ace coming.
Ooh.
Oh my God, man. Yo, Masala
see
by
your
Master
lineup.
Ace was my joint.
So
Masala. Oh, man.
I told him about y'all's platform, and he's a producer as well. So maybe we could try to get him on y'all's show. Let's try to work that out. Let's see if we can get.
Yeah, let's work that, man.
Absolutely. You already know what it is. I'll reach out to him, and we'll see if we can get that done. Maybe he can come in person or just do something virtual. But I definitely think you should get him on the show. So.
Daz, what's the name of the album when he's sitting on the steps with his bucket?
When he's sitting on the steps,
I think he might have is he in all white? I gotta check.
No, there's an album where he's sitting on a milk crate in the middle of the street. That's Disposable Arts. But A Long Hot Summer, he's just sitting on the steps.
There you go. Long Hot Summer.
Yeah,
that album. Yeah.
That album, yo. Hell yeah. There's so many records of that. Shout out to him and Ed OG when they did the A&E project as well. It was just, man, what can you say? So I'm going to try and reach out to him on y'all's behalf and see if we can keep that line of networking going. So, I got y'all, man. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I got to go see my wife and watch the Lakers lose to the Golden State Warriors, hopefully tonight. Go Celtics. Absolutely. Let me just add, because, I'm still wearing the B hat, man. Just to let y'all know.
Of course.
All right, y'all. Blessings upon blessings. Thank y'all, Dee Loopz. Thank you, Trench. Love you guys. We out. Yes, sir. Dun, 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 dun.